Hello my dear students, today this video is going to be on the Parliament of India. The Parliament of India is a magnificent manifestation of the democratic ethos of our country. So here we are going to understand the basic introduction of our parliament along with its constituents. So, we know that it occupies the center position of the democratic polity. It is very important because it has always given the solution suggestions and the guidelines that is going to help to provide the good governance of our country. As the national legislature and repository of the constituent powers of the Union, as I told, it occupies the central position in our democratic polity. And over the years, Parliament has evolved as an institution having multidimensional roles. And the Parliament has been instrumental in helping in social change and development through progressive legislations and meaningful debates on crucial issues that is the crucial issues which are being faced by the nation, and thus giving the way for good governance, which constitutes the basic principle of our constitution. The federal structure of Indian polity rests on the principle of parliamentary form of a government, which makes the executive accountable to the legislature. The Parliament of India has got three constituents, namely the President of India, the Rajya Sabha, which is known as the Council of States, and the Lok Sabha, which is known as the House of People. The President of India is the constitutional head of the executive, and there is a Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister to aid and advise the President in exercise of his functions. So, as I told, there are three constituents in our Parliament of India. The first is the President of India, who occupies the topmost position in our Union executive, and he is known as the constitutional head of our executive. Then we have got Rajya Sabha, which is known as the Council of States, and coming to next the Lok Sabha, which is known as House of People. So these are the three important constituents of our parliament. And we have got the Council of Ministers, which is being headed by Prime Minister, who is going to help in giving the suggestions and also advise the president in taking the decisions for the nations and exercise of his functions. So, the main important thing which you need to keep in your mind firstly is the parliament is occupying the central position in our democratic polity, and then is its three constituents, that is the President of India, then comes the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Then we have got, yes, the Council of Ministers also, and few other constituents and the elements which we will be studying further. And there is a video which is already there, which is on the parliament terminologies, which you can check. So moving ahead, the parliamentary system of India is not like nothing new to the nation, because the history of democratic traditions in India in fact goes back to the Vedic period. The Vedas, the oldest Indian literature, abound with references to popular assemblies known as sabhas and samitis. So earlier during the period of Vedas, we had the assemblies to take care after the nation's activities. We had sabhas and samitis. These popular assemblies were known as sabhas and samitis. Apart from electing the king, these assemblies used to discuss and decide matters of the state. Discussions in these assemblies were free, and resolution passed by them was binding on all and inviolable. In the post Vedic period, the republics, which were known in popular parlance as Ganarajya or Sangha, were functioning as self governing institutions. So, initially, we had the Vedic period where we had the popular assemblies known as Sabhas and Samitis, and later on, post that is after the Vedic period, there came the assemblies which were known as Ganarajya or Sangha. This was during the post Vedic period, and the republics which were known as Ganaraja or Sangha. So, these are the self governing institutions. In those sanghas, rules of parliamentary procedure were in existence, and many of those rules were akin to the modern day's procedure followed in parliaments. They had rules regarding sitting arrangement in assembly, moving of motions including censure motion, resolutions, determining quorum, and issuance of whip. These assemblies followed very elaborate procedure of voting by ballot and had rules relating to the counting of votes and so on. So these are the process which is still found in the parliament, and it came and it was popular during the Ganarajya and Sangha time, that was after the Vedic period, that was post Vedic period. Then, some of the inscriptions adorning committee rooms and other places in the Parliament House clearly indicate about the functioning of democracy in ancient India. For instance, in the Rig Veda, the unity of purpose of an assembly has been described.